Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz went down in the boxing ring last night. I'm going to give my full breakdown, reaction, and kind of talk a little bit about the card as well as we get into this. But my initial thoughts are I'm just kind of, I don't even know what to think. I think it was very interesting. I think the whole card was entertaining. I think the Diaz Paul matchup, there was a lot of mixed opinions from everyone coming into this, right? I had heard, I've been a Nate Diaz fan. I'm always a Nate Diaz fan, right? Nick and Nate Diaz, always NDA Army, man. Or not but along the way, it's kind of was I and were, us Nate Diaz fans kind of stuck on the stories that were told about, the Andre Wards and the sparrings. And, I just kind of based a lot of the boxing from what I've seen off of Nate from in MMA. And to me, it looked like the Nate that we kind of saw against Tony. Very square, very straight up, and just kind of walking forward. Where I guess throughout his career back in the day, when we would see him against Michael Johnson, see him against, even McGregor, he was in that longer stance, and then he would move in and out, throw the 1-2. I didn't think we saw many 1-2s when in this matchup, and I was very surprised by that because Chris Avila, Nate's teammate, was landing it on Jeremy Stevens all night long, and I was like, well, if he's landing it, I'm sure we're probably going to see that from Nate. So I'm happy for Nate, obviously, in the way that he got paid. This was a great opportunity for him to launch Real Fight Inc., get his guys paid, get them taken care of on a boxing card, get them in a good spotlight, all of those things. But in terms of what we saw, it was hard. It was kind of hard to watch in a way, Nate just kind of walked forward like a zombie. He was very upright. He was just kind of bull rushing in, ducking with his head, and he got dropped by Jake in the 5th round. I think he was a little off balance there, but that shot landed right behind the ear, probably threw off his balance a little bit. He recovered nicely. Nate Diaz just has a legendary chin, man. The guy just, you just could hit it with a kitchen sink, and he's just able to just keep going. I thought that I understand he's older. I understand he is on the older side. I just thought we would see a little bit more of that, longer stance, jab cross, some of those things. It looked a lot like that sparring footage that we saw against him, and I think it was Esquiva Falcao, the Brazilian, where he's just kind of walking the guy down and just keeping that pressure and pace on him. The cardio and the endurance was there. Just Jake Paul was the better boxer overall. He's the more technical, traditional-looking boxer. He was cutting angles nicely. Jake Paul's got a lot of power. That left hook he was throwing right over the top was landing on Nate pretty much all night long. When Nate was ducking in, Jake was hitting him with an uppercut. He was throwing the good straights to the body. That was the best shape Jake Paul's probably been in his career thus far. I saw, at the weigh-ins, the guy just was in great condition, which, going up against Nate's key to victory was probably going to be cardio and then pressuring him and drowning him. There were some moments where he was kind of getting to Jake with the pressure and stuff. And then the ref was, Jake was holding him. The ref wasn't splitting it off. But at the end of the day, Jake Paul definitely won this boxing match. He definitely got the job done. I think Nate did squeak in a couple rounds in there. I should say squeak, but he definitely won a couple rounds. I didn't really like some of the judges' scorecards. They were very one-sided towards Jake, giving him almost every round, which I don't think so. I think Nate probably definitely got a couple rounds in there. Just there wasn't a lot of pop on Nate's shots, and I know that he's not the hardest hitter, and a lot of his shots are just kind of peppering and stuff, but we didn't get to see that hard 1-2 that I was expecting to see. It kind of did look like the Tony fight because he was very square, kind of just had a high guard up. It was just walking forward and ducking, which I expected to see some of that, but I thought we would see him kind of in that longer stance, moving in and out. And, we didn't really see that at all. But fair play to Jake Paul getting the job done. Nate trying to go for the guillotine choke. He's always entertaining. Whether the guy wins or loses, I've never seen anything like it. His stock just seems to never fade, and people are always, excited when he fights because it's always something interesting. Walking out with E40 was pretty badass. I like that a lot. And I know Jake Paul walked out with Lil Durk, which is also pretty cool. But overall, Jake Paul definitely, I'd like to see him box against maybe KSI or Tommy Fury rematch. I feel like that would be fun to watch. I don't really want to see them do MMA. I'd like to see Nate maybe complete the trilogy with Conor, and then maybe that would probably call it. He's definitely getting up there. He's taking a lot of damage, and definitely his chin saved him in this one because he was eating some shots. Jake's the bigger, stronger, harder hitter. That was clearly on display, which was, well, I think we all kind of knew that coming in. Again, happy Nate got paid. I'm glad he didn't get knocked out because I was concerned there. That first round was really ugly. And then in that fifth round where he got dropped, I was worried, but he shook off the cobwebs and then got back in it. So fair play. Was entertaining. The whole card was entertaining. Ashton Silva, that prospect that Jake Paul has, is now 10-0. He beat 30-4 William Silva. William Silva's been in there with guys like Teofimo Lopez. Ashton Silva threw that beautiful body shot, man. Instead of throwing it right under the elbows, he kind of came right up the middle, more of a corkscrew uppercut. And it was beautiful. Kid's good, man. Kid's the real deal. Hopefully they don't, fast track him too much because in that, at lightweight, there's some killers in that division for boxing. But I liked what I saw from him. Amanda Serrano, just, one of the best women's boxers of all time. I'm glad that, this whole thing with Jake Paul, because it's kind of showed the world, introduced the world to Amanda Serrano. She's absolutely fantastic. Fun to watch. Heather Hardy was just a warrior in there. It was a fun matchup. Action-packed. I enjoyed watching that one. Alan Sanchez was probably the best boxer on the card from NDA Academy. He looked good. He got the job done, was landing good, hard, straight right hands. He got the jab rolling. He improves to 23-5. He's just a good all-around boxer. Angel Beltran was no slouch. He was 17-1 coming in. I enjoyed watching that matchup. The NDA guys, for the most part, Madera kind of got outclassed there by Newman. Newman was just a better boxer, training under Roy Jones Jr. He kind of was fighting like Roy in there, sticking and moving, had the jab working. And then those NDA guys earlier on the card, they did a great job. I thought that they looked pretty good. Got, Nate's team definitely did a good job of giving them some good matchups, favorable matchups. But I was really impressed with Jose Aguayo to get the job done against a real boxer. He got the job done. He looked good, had a jab working. He got his jab rolling pretty well, was landing the right hand behind it. All those NDA guys, man, they throw a good one too. Like Chris Avila was landing on Jeremy Stevens all night long. I thought Jeremy Stevens looked sluggish and just didn't really look like himself in there. But credit to Avila. His head movement and stuff was pretty good. His movement was good. That 1-2 was landing. I thought we were going to see that 1-2 that he was landing there. I thought we were going to see Nate do that to Jake Paul. So, but it didn't happen. Didn't happen. So what do you all think is next? I really don't necessarily want to see them do the whole MMA thing. I'd rather see Nate maybe complete the trilogy with Connor or something like that. What do you all think's next for Nate? What do you all think's next for Jake? Like, subscribe, help your boy out. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one.